Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are in my bedroom filming because I like this wall and I wanted to stand up, and I'm stuck in the house and I'm in the house board, and I thought I would find, let's move it around, let's shake things up. So I will be displaying things here, and yeah, let's jump into it. Here are all the books I read in April. So let's first talk about the books I read for the Owls. I had 4 prompts, and I will post the prompt that each book went for because I can't remember and I don't have it right in front of me because I am a bad booktuber. So let's talk about the test, and this was for the prompt read a book under 150 pages, and this is by Sylvia Newell. I'm looking down because I have it. I'm kind of prepared, but only halfway. So this was a book by Sylvia Newell. It is a very short story, and it is all about a man who is going to sit his British citizenship exam, and it takes a Black Mirror twist. And that's all I'm going to say about it. It is really, really worth the read, especially if you like Black Mirror. I really enjoyed it. I gave this 5 stars, and it passed this class for me. Yay! Right, so the second book I read for the Owls was Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. This was for the prompt a white cover, and yeah, so basically in this world we follow 2 races or classes of people. We follow those who have silver blood, and they're the more elite, they're the ones in charge, and then we follow those who have red blood, and they're not in charge, they're very inferior, until one day one of the reds ends up with powers like the silvers, and the silvers have to figure out a way to deal with her, and she is thrust into court politics and court life. I had fun with this. It was a quick read. It was enjoyable. Gave it 4 stars, and I think I will be continuing. The third book I read for the Owls was The Cuckoos Calling by Robert Galbraith, aka J.K. Rowling, and this follows our detective Cormorant Strike, there we go, and as he takes on a case to deal with. He takes on this case, and it's about this model who has committed suicide, but her brother comes into the office to pay and hire Strike for his private detective services, because he doesn't believe that she would have just jumped off the balcony. And we follow him. It's very much more mystery, less thriller, but it did have a good twist, and I enjoyed it. It was really enjoyable. I think I will definitely continue with this series, at least give book 2 a go, and I gave this 4 stars as well, and this was for the prompt an animal with the beak on the cover, and this has like birds on the edition I have, which is right here actually, The Cuckoo's Calling. I don't know why I was putting up there. Yeah, so as you can see, it has birds on the cover. It's very, very good. I don't know why I haven't been holding these up. Why was I just gonna post these? So, The Cuckoos Calling and Red Queen, which fulfilled the white colour prompt. Okay, now I'm going to be less rubbish. Sorry, I keep having to pause this video and go and control my dog, because he's lost his mind along with every other dog in my neighbourhood. They're all going crazy. I think it's because it's sunny. And so my passing mark was all dependent on whether or not I read a book that began with M, and I did. Well, I read a play. It counts. I read A Midsummer's Night's Dream by William Shakespeare. In this, we follow a woman who lives in Athens, and she is supposed to be marrying, I can never remember the names. I'm bad with names in Shakespeare books. But she's supposed to be married off to a man she doesn't love, so they run away, her and her lover, in order to get married, and then her would-be husband follows her, and the woman who is in love with him follows him, and they all go off and run away and running after each other. And then we introduce the Fae and the Fairy, who like to create a little spice, give themselves a little giggle by just messing with humans, and let's just say people fall in love with the wrong people, with the right people. It's hilarious, it's all muddly. This is not my favourite Shakespeare play, but it's close. I also gave this a 4 stars. So that means that I did indeed pass my O.W.Ls, which I'm very, very, very excited about. While we're talking about books that counted towards something that is not just me reading for fun, I had 3 arcs that come out in May that I wanted to read, and you can go and click up there somewhere, I think somewhere up here. Click somewhere up there to go and see me reading and vlogging those, but I'll just quickly run through them here. The first book I read was Love's Recipe by Mila Nix. In this we follow, I'm going to give light summaries because if you want to see like everything I thought about this, you definitely should go watch that video. But in this we follow Rosalie as she's had to move back home because she is a bit downtrodden on her luck. She's had a crappy relationship, and so she's now left as a single mother to move back home with her mum, who she doesn't have the greatest relationship with, and she takes the first job that she finds, which is at a famous restaurant in town, but unfortunately that restaurant has been kind of let go because Nick, our love interest, his mother has passed away and he hasn't properly dealt with the grief and has just kind of not cared about this restaurant. And cute, warming, heartwarming, cute things ensue. It is very wholesome because it has this family aspect. It's got some great steamy scenes. I really enjoyed this. I gave this a solid 4 stars. The next book I picked up was a Chocoholics Guide to Getting It On. I don't really want to talk about this book here because I didn't like it, but basically we follow a chocolate writer named Melanie as she goes off to find the world's best chocolate, which is supposedly better than sex, and the guy, I didn't like it. Too much happened. There was just too much. The writing was not great. If you want to see like my more coherent thoughts, because this book makes me angry, you can go and watch that video, but this was 2 stars. And let's and the last book I read for that video was The Strange Adventures of H. In this we are following H throughout her life. It's kind of written in a memoir style, and we are following her when she moves with her aunt in London, and then the plague hits and she has some just really terrible things happen to her, and we follow like the 3 parts of H. That's how I'm going to say it. So part 1, part 2 and part 3. I really, really enjoyed this. I thought the ending was fantastic. I fell in love with part 3, and as I said in that vlog, if I was just going off part 3 it would definitely be 5 stars, but there was just a bit of clunkiness maybe and overuse of a word in the first part for me to really truly be able to give this a 5 stars. However, I am going to reread this at some point because I'm thinking maybe with everything going on, and the first part does deal with plague, so that is a warning, and like quarantine, maybe I picked up the wrong time to read this, so I definitely will be giving it another go. I need to go back and like highlight some bits because there was just some touching moments that just hit me in the feels, man. It was so good. So the last ebook I read this month was The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary, and in this we follow our 2 main characters, Tiff and Leon, as they decide they're going to not just share a flat but share a bed. And due to Leon's work schedule, he is able to do this because he works odd hours, so that means he works nights and he's home during the day and he's gone on the weekends. And then Tiff really needs somewhere to live, quite cheap and quite like quickly, due to some circumstances she's in, and so this works with her schedule. She's there at night and on the weekends, and so somehow they make this work and a cute little romance ensues, but it also deals with some like really good gritty topics, which I'm starting to think maybe that's something I enjoy in my romances. But I gave this 5 stars. I loved Tiff, I loved Leon, I loved all the additional side characters that you get because it's just so like heartwarming, and you deal with quite like some serious topics and hard-hitting topics, as well as having this cute and fun fluffy romance. I thoroughly enjoyed this and gave it 5 stars. So the next, actually this is the first book I picked up this month, and that was The Colorless Tsukuru Tazaki by Haruki Murakami. And in this, I keep saying in this to start out with like book summaries, but you know, that's apparently my thing. But in this book we follow Tsukuru through kind of his adult years and figuring out what's wrong with him because he is interested in this woman named Sarah, but he's got some baggage, and Sarah wants to know why he has this baggage. Why is he this like broken person? And we go back and we find out that all of his friends one day just decided to quit being his friends with no explanations. He was told to never contact them again, and we see how this impacts him and how this had like just some horrific impacts on his life, and the impact also it had on his friends, because he goes on this journey to find out why this happened, because he's, you know, clueless about this. And in this, we go on the journey with him. I really, really enjoyed this. It was really sweet, really kind of hard-hitting, I think. Murakami does well writing men, I think, with feelings. with feelings. I really like Murakami's writing, especially when he's dealing with like internal monologues and problems, and I actually really, really enjoyed this book. This is another one I think upon reread I would love even more. It is a contemporary book. There's like some weird stuff, but it's not like, it's not speculative. It's not magical realism like I would say Tenkyu 8-4 is. This just has like a hint, a vibe of certain parts, if you will. But it's most definitely a contemporary book, and I really, really, really enjoyed this. And I think if I reread this, it would hit me in a different way, and I might rate it higher. But right now, it is sitting at a 4.5 stars. Really, really liked it, and I will definitely be continuing to pick up Murakami. I just find his writing quite, not flowery, but I just, there's something special about his writing that I haven't seen in other places. Enchanting. Let's use enchanting as the word I want to describe Murakami's writing with. So, after like 4 attempts, I finally picked this up and finished it. If you don't know, I did try to read this while I was watching the TV show, and I really struggled to keep plots straight in my head. So now that the show is finished and I've watched all of it, I decided to jump headfirst into this. It seemed like an appropriate time. I've got more time than sense these days. Anyway, so I gave this a read and I liked it. I gave it a solid 4 stars. It was really, really good. Which is good. I loved it. That doesn't take away, but it's not a 5-star read. I don't know why I'm trying to defend my 4-star. Anyway, as to not spoil you, because I'm worried that I'm going to get something mixed up with the show that I shouldn't, I'm just going to read the blurb on the back so you know what this is about. As Warden of the North, Lord Eddard Stark counts it as a curse when King Robert bestows on him the office of the Hand. His honour weighs him down at court, where a true man does what he will, not what he must, and a dead enemy is a thing of beauty. The old gods have no power in the south. Stark's family is split, and there is treachery at court. Worse, a vengeance-mad boy has grown to maturity in exile in the free cities beyond the sea. Heir of the mad dragon king, disposed by Robert, he claims the Iron Throne. So, this is very much a grim, dark, political fantasy series. I enjoyed it. I really loved it. Because I've seen the show, it's easier to imagine these characters. Would I give this higher? Now that I'm thinking about it. Oh no, I'm having a crisis, you guys. I'm going to stick with 4 stars for now. The series as a whole, I have a feeling it's going to be a 5-star. But this was a good entry point. I'm still curious. I'm still going to continue. But yeah. Down to the last 2 books, because I've been chatting for 25 minutes. This, Sleeping Giants. I read this in a day. Another Sylvian Nouvelle book. I wanted to read this because I have been in the mood for sci-fi books, especially more sci-fi like Illuminae, because I loved that. I'm itching so bad to reread that. And we've got only the audiobooks, so I'd have to like buy the books, but I want the hardbacks. And I don't often want hardback books, but those are just... Right, anyway, that's not what I'm talking about. Right now, I'm talking about the first book in the famous files. Famous files. I think. Yeah. So the first book in the famous files, this is Sleeping Giants by Sylvia Nouvelle. In this, we follow we begin to follow a young girl as she stumbles upon a giant hand. and then we follow her as she grows up and becomes a doctor and works on a project that is trying to figure out A, what this hand is, B, are there any more parts to this, C, where did it come from, and D, what does it want? And so I thought it was really, really good. I did try to listen to the audiobook, but I didn't care for the narrator. I may eventually give it another go, but I thoroughly enjoyed this. Another 4-star read, solid read, loved it. Yeah, I'm going to continue with the trilogy. I read this in a day. It was nice outside, I had time. A day. It was so good, you guys. So this book, this is the sequel to the 5th season, and because it's a sequel, I'm not going to tell you about it, but I am going to tell you I gave it 5 stars. But the 5th season, we're in this world where people have the ability to control the earth. So they can make earthquake happens, they can like control seismic waves, the earth moving, they can control these things, they have ability, but they are hunted and killed, and if they're discovered to have these powers at a young age, they're either killed or they're sent to the fulcrum to train as like servants almost, to keep the world stable, because in this world we also have seasons, and that is where very bad kind of natural things happen, and it's almost like the end of the world. However, in the 5th season, it is said to be the last season of Earth, and the Earth is going to be destroyed. So we follow our main character, well, we follow 3 main characters, 3 main perspectives through that book, and it is just so beautifully written. I really loved it. This book did not fail. I need the 3rd one. I love her so much. I will read everything she writes. It's like a mission for this year to read all of N.K. Jemisin's backlist. She also just had a new book out, and I'm dying to read it. Right, so let's stack up the books. Let's start with the lowest book, which was my 2-star read, and that was The Chocoholics Guide to Getting It On. This one just fell flat for me. Then moving up to 3 stars. Did I have any 3-star reads this month? I must have done. I don't think I did, you guys. You guys, I had 0 3-star reads this month. It's been a fantastic month apart from that 2-star, but a really, really great month. So let's just pick up all of my 4-star reads. This includes my 4.5 reads as well. So we have Sleeping Giants. We have Game of Thrones. This is going to be a mess to stack. Oh no. We have The Colorless, Tsukuru, Tazaki. Oh no. Oh, I should have waited to put Game of Thrones on last. A Midsummer's Night Dream. Red Queen. Oh no. A Cuckoos Calling. Okay, and then just 2 more ebooks. And then we also have The Strange Adventures of H and Love's Recipe. I'm so happy about this. You guys, 4 stars are just... they're a solid read. So is some 3 stars. Like, you have 3 stars that are like, yeah, and some are like, those were good. That was just a good book. These are solid. Solid reads. Highly recommend if you want some book racks. So 4 stars. Loving this. And then two for my 5-star read, I have the Obelisk Gate by N.K. Jemisin and The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary. I love both of these. I thought they were so good. I'm definitely going to be buying a paperback version of The Flat Share. I just love this. Oh, I'm so happy. Right, you guys, I have yammered on for far too long. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a little thumbs up. And if you want to see more bookish and lifestyle content, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you soon in another video. I hope you're all staying safe, happy and healthy. Bye guys.